Hey assholes, it's Redacted, here with another Melanie Martinez video. I'm a joke at this point, but anyway. So there's a bit of an outrage going on right now because this artist, and I use that term loosely, ripped off Melanie Martinez's song Play Date. The thief's name is Janet Cyrus, but no one seems to know much about her other than that they ripped off Mel, so I thought it would be fun to put on my detective cap for the first time in a while and figure out what I can about this person, maybe try to figure out why they did this. Anyway, it turns out, as I'll explain throughout the video, she's actually a serial plagiarist who has ripped off a popular Halsey song and other songs, and there's actually very little identifying information about her online to the point where it's kinda weird. So when I first heard of a song theft going on, I thought, oh, did someone just transpose Melanie's song to a different key and change the lyrics? Did they sample it without crediting? Did they maybe tweak the melody by a couple of notes? No, and no. Apparently, and I cannot believe this, Janet just straight up copy-pasted the whole song and changed random things about it that I can't quite put my finger on. They stole the song and they disguised it enough to where it got past YouTube's copyright radar, I suppose. It sounds weird. Not the situation, the way she rendered the song. There are some parts where you can clearly hear Melanie's voice being sampled, whereas Janet Cyrus is singing with, it sounds like some kind of a robotic filter over it, which, you know, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with covering a song or singing karaoke, or even posting that, in my opinion. You see, the reason that I and most others are convinced that this is theft is because the person in question actually changed the title of the song, never credited Melanie or any of the producers, and made alterations to the song that didn't provide any artistic benefit and uploaded this independently. Now, if this were a cover, it would be listed as Playdate. Also, the description would be listing the producers, the lyricists, etc., etc. Take, for example, Melanie's cover of Toxic. The description lists all the people who did work on the song itself, giving them credit for their work. By contrast, Janet's rip of Playdate lists only her own name, as if she made this whole song by herself. As for the act of theft itself, it's, to say the very least, it's bold. I mean, Melanie Martinez is pretty famous, and she has a very vocal fan base. And of all the songs to steal, Janet takes the one that just randomly went viral on TikTok that year. It's weird, especially since there's almost no information on this thief anywhere on the internet, and we're in a world where just about everyone, especially those hoping to become famous, which is pretty much the only way to make a living as an artist, is to build a platform, you know, so they should have an Instagram or a TikTok if they're serious about music. Well, I guess they're not serious about music. But even though they have no web presence, I have a surprising lot to say about this mysterious thing. But first, let's take a moment to simp for today's sponsor. Simple Health is revolutionizing the way people who menstruate get birth control by making it as accessible as it should be, and that's wonderful. For too long, in order to get birth control, you would have to jump through excessive hoops, schedule an appointment just for birth control, sit through long wait times, and stay on top of an inconvenient routine. But now, through Simple Health, you can have your birth control delivered straight to your door in a reliable subscription service, which is very social distancing friendly. Here's how it works. Step 1, you fill out a 10-minute online consultation form. Step 2, one of Simple Health's doctors reviews your application and writes a prescription for whatever form of birth control you agree is best for you. And step 3, your prescription is delivered straight to your mailbox right on schedule. It also ships in discreet packaging, so there isn't going to be a Simple Health birth control logo on it that you have to worry about other people seeing. From the time you get it until the time you open it, no one around you is going to know what's in that package, I promise. So Simple Health is also free with most insurance plans, but for those of you who are uninsured, Simple Health starts at $15 a month for generic pills, and that is a lot better than a baby, which will cost an average of, I'd say, $10 million a year on diapers alone. That sound about right? Don't quote me on that figure, but anyway. I remember being humiliated going to the doctor for birth control, how they challenged me and asked me uncomfortable questions about my sexual activity, like if I was a virgin, if I had a boyfriend, why did I want birth control if my boyfriend just dumped me, blah blah blah, you know. I didn't know, of course, because I was freshly 18 and I didn't understand how creepy and unnecessary that was. And then, of course, having to do it over and over again every month just to get contraception, it was insane, and it wasn't long before I gave up on birth control entirely because the process of getting it was just too embarrassing, too elaborate. And I'm glad that this no longer has to be a problem for people who menstruate. Simple Health really cuts out all the worst pains of getting birth control. So please sign up today at simplehealth.com/PiperSweeney or use code PiperSweeney at checkout to try Simple Health for free and simplify your birth control today. Thank you for listening. Now let's get into this Janet person. I forgot her name. Their name. I don't know their pronouns, I suppose. But anyway. The plagiarist in question is named Janet Cyrus, though we do not know if that's their real name or not. Janet Cyrus is signed to an online music distribution company called Ditto Music, which also offers record label services. And I say signed with implied quotation marks because that's more akin to a self-publishing platform in my opinion, because the artist still stays independent, they keep 100% of their royalties, etc., etc. So yeah, it seems to me like Ditto Music, it's just a self-publishing service. They offer some interesting tools like analytic reports and playlist submission, but it's not really a label. It's a paid service anyone can use. There's no gatekeeping at all, you know. Anyone with money can use it, and not even a lot of money because the plans start at £19 a year, and that's probably the one she chose too. So I highly doubt Ditto Music was actively involved in this case of plagiarism. They were just the tool that Janet Cyrus used to upload the plagiarized song. The video you see on YouTube, for example, was automatically provided by Ditto Music, and my guess is the published songs are not vetted for copyright. Either that or her weird edits were made simply to skirt copyright. One of those. Actually, what surprises me the most is that YouTube's piracy detection algorithm didn't catch this. So I guess either she found a loophole or that's, again, what the weird edits are for. But anyway, maybe the piracy detection algorithm only cares when small tubers want to post a TikTok reaction video, but when an actual music company uploads a stolen song, they don't care. I don't know. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only, in my opinion. As for the Janet Cyrus Music Instagram account, before anyone says, actually, yeah, they do have an Instagram, no. That was made like 4 days ago as of writing this script, and it's clearly a troll account. The first post is a parody of Janet Cyrus stealing Taylor Swift's album cover for Reputation, you know. It also has another person's face photoshopped over Melanie's from her Instagram post and other random jabs at Janet. But strangely enough, judging by the comments, a lot of people think it's real, which if anything says a lot about the expected emotional maturity level of someone who just flat out rips a song with millions of streams and expects no one to notice. As for the face being used for the PFP, I couldn't find a source. I don't know if that is Janet Cyrus. Nothing that was posted by Ditto Music on Janet's behalf shows any face. Album covers are probably made up of badly photoshopped stolen images and excuse me, hiccup, and all of their songs seem to be contemporary pop hits that are mangled, not beyond recognition, but to the point where they no longer are listenable. Which brings me to my opinion on Ditto Music's role in this, and why I think they should be held somewhat accountable for this, or someone at Ditto Music should be held accountable for this, because you see, in my opinion, they are allegedly, for entertainment purposes only, still partly responsible for not adequately checking to see if the material is copyrighted, before they upload it to platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, Amazon Music, iTunes, etc. Because if this was just a case of one song, I'd say maybe whoever is involved in uploading these songs on Janet's behalf didn't hear about Melanie Martinez, but this is not a one-time thing. For example, she also gave this treatment to Halsey's Graveyard, sampling Halsey's original vocals, singing over them, putting it through a filter. It's basically the musical equivalent of running all your favorite art prints through a trash compactor and then gluing them back together on a poster board and selling them as your original pieces. I went through and googled the lyrics to her other song, I Felt Bad Love, and I found that the song is actually by Salem Elise, sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, and it's called Mad at Disney. And her song, 2002, is actually Anne Marie's song. 'Cause I Keep Digging Myself Down Deeper is Halsey's Graveyard, obviously. Though oddly enough, it's listed under Graveyard on Amazon and on iTunes, whereas Google lists 2002 and I Will Always Remember the Day You Kissed My Lips. You know it's a mess when she isn't even consistently hiding the fact that the songs are stolen. Oh my god. Okay, I need to calm down. This is just a train wreck, guys. Oh, it's a train wreck. Going back to Play Date, I don't know enough about the legal side of copyright to know how responsible Ditto is for this. If Atlantic Records chooses to sue, which I doubt that would even happen. My guess, it happened, it would be the record company suing, not Melanie. But why bother? Because let's not pretend Janet made a huge chunk of change off of this, because my guess is she didn't even make enough money to pay her own rent once, let alone Melanie's. She probably didn't even make a profit off of Ditto Music Services. She likely paid more producing this than she earned from it, and you know, some things are, in my opinion, too petty to be worth suing over. Because who wants to pay your lawyer however many thousands of dollars to get back at someone for maybe they made like $1.50? It's just, it's not worth it. And not to mention all the time you would spend in court. Oh god. What I really want to know is, did Janet actually think this would work? I mean, let's look at it this way. It took like a whole year before anyone noticed they plagiarized it. And Melanie isn't some obscure artist, nor is Play Date an obscure song. It actually peaked at number 13 back in May of 2020. And yet people are just now noticing that this even happened. So if it took that long for people to notice it was a plagiarized song, my guess is the reason is that basically no one streamed it, no one bought it, no one even really heard of it before this month, and it's just sad. I can't even get emotionally invested in something this sad. Like, this was barely an effort. Janet Cyrus seems to lack both the brains and the follow-through to really make anything like this work. My only guess is that they assumed they found an easy exploit to keep 100% of the profits, only to find that there were no profits because they lacked the ability to promote themselves. And like I said, with no social media to their name in this day and age, it's pretty clear to me that they didn't even really put in a good effort to be a proper thief. This sounds weird, just even whatever. If they were trying, and if they did have a social media presence, they'd probably be using it to, you know, claim it was just a cover or a karaoke and copying Melanie, or that was not their intention. Even though it was pretty clear that they were trying to separate their auditory monstrosities by the originals as much as possible by renaming the original hits by Melanie, Salem, and Halsey. I did briefly consider that maybe they were too stupid to know this was theft, but again, a common idiot wouldn't have gone through the effort to rename the song and make random changes throughout it that didn't add to the melody and served to do nothing but maybe trick the copyright bots a little, because their edits didn't sound good. They just kind of mixed things up a little. So basically, mystery solved. Janet Cyrus is just stupid. This isn't the most interesting, attention-grabbing conclusion, but, you know, I've never been in the habit of dramatizing crap for views in the past, and I see no reason to start now. All we have here is a very, very dumb thief that's really not even worth coming after, and, I know you can't just flick a switch and you'll stop being angry at someone for stealing your idol's song, so I recommend just trying to see the humor in this situation, because it's not really worth being angry about. It's not worth having your day ruined over. It's not worth sending a stranger hate on the internet. If I were y'all, I'd just laugh and move on. That's what I'm doing, because this is just weird. I can't even be mad. It's just weird. That's about it. A special thanks to my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon to get access to exclusive vlogs, which I'm a little behind on those. See every video at least a day early. See all my art in HD, etc., etc. I also have an OnlyFans with 18 and plus art and selfies, and and happy birthday to my OC already. Not because it's her birthday, but because it's the first day of spring, and that makes me happy because I hate winter. Alright, that's all. Please rate, subscribe, and blessed be, motherfuckers.